Alright, it is 10 o'clock a.m. and I had two trades. I want to see if this thing is going to work without me or if it's going to, absolutely fail and break below $1. There just seems to be too many big sellers at the, um, not really at the ask actually. There just seems to be a lot of people dumping their shares at the bid and it's just really showing bad price action. But I want to see if it's going to hold $1 and eventually try to break above VWAP or if it's just going to continue to sell off. 103 is a bit of a resistance level based off of here, looking at a longer chart, but it's really 50-50. It's not like there's some huge seller at the ask not letting this work out. It's just a lot of people dumping their shares. I did have two trades. One of them was pretty aggravating with GTII, but in theory it worked out. I did trade GTII for a morning panic bounce play at 9:35. I bought in this candle right here, 250 shares at 91.5. So I was in right here at 91.5, and I got in it thinking that it's not really that close to the day low, which is this 88 level, but I thought this thing was going to hard-headedly just uptrend and keep smacking the ask, even if the level 2 doesn't look nice, if there isn't support at the bid or anything like that. I just thought it was just going to, rush and just break, towards the upside. And that's exactly what it did, but I saw the next minute at 90 at 9:36 when it was looking mega ugly right here. And yeah, I mean, I just don't know if this would have been a better call where I would try to risk the day low, which would have been 88 cents, then I would have been a part of this. Or if this was just fine in most cases, perhaps it would just continue to downtrend, but this was the exception to the rule. I can't really figure that out right now. Pretty unfortunate that I sold, in this candle and then it continued the option, but honestly, it just looked really ugly until it wasn't. So, yeah, this setup really worked out. And then I did have an interest of trying again at the higher low set up at 947. I did try to buy some at this 90.01 level, but I just didn't get filled, so that was fine. And it didn't really do that much of a bounce compared to the first one here. And maybe it can try to uptrend over a longer period of time and try to regain itself above $1 perhaps. But yeah, that was an attempt there. It did work out. Just don't know if I'm just being jaded or if I did everything perfectly, or maybe I should have risked the day low, or this was just the exception to the rule when the price action looks mega ugly, but then it still turns around. I have no freaking idea. As for NWBO, I did trade this one thinking that it did a super nice spike. It broke above $1. This was a nice setup too, but I was too busy looking at GTII, and it did go from $1 to $1.10. So this one did work out, and it did start to downtrend, and I drew a trend line off of this corner to this corner, I believe. And I was looking at it for something that would dip below VWAP and then eventually turn around, and it can still do it. But I just didn't like the price action. I didn't like how long it was taking, and I also didn't like how 103 is a very important resistance level, so it might not break above it, or at least, anytime soon. When I was in it, I bought, what was it, 500 shares at 955, so that was right here, and I got in at, yeah, 102, so that was right here when I got in, and yeah, I just didn't like the price action. It did try to break above VWAP right here. I even had like a little trend line and then it broke it in this candle, which didn't look that nice. I did sell 200 shares for a break even at 102. That was at 957 right here when it was looking like it was not able to break 103 and it was starting to downtrend, and I sold some at 102 before it finished a bit lower. And then I continued to hold on to the setup, and then the price action just looked really ugly again, and I got out at 959. The rest of my position at 101. So right here was where I had my sell, and yeah, I did touch $1. It did manage to hold, but I guess if this thing's gonna do it, it's gonna do it, and it just looked really ugly, and I might still consider it. I guess not anymore. It might be too late now, but yeah, it looks like it's finally doing it now after looking like garbage. But yeah, just really jaded right now. All the setups seem to work, after I got in and out, and some of these, like this one above the $1 level, just worked without me, and this one also broke above 10 cents, and I wasn't focused on this one, and this one offered a really nice spike. So yeah, just really jaded that I managed to not be profitable on any of the setups. But I guess I'll keep going. Otherwise, I have a bunch of other things to do. I'll make an update later. Okay, it is 10:34 p.m. and I'm here to call it off. Overall, I'm going to be down on the day. $6.72. Two setups that just didn't work out, or at least GTII did work out, but I wasn't really a part of it. And yeah, I was just really jaded because I was thinking, well, with morning panic balance play, should I consider cutting losses if it looks like it's going to break the day low? But you know, sometimes it looks really bad in the level two price action, and I'm able to cut the trade before it actually downtrends and breaks the day low, and that saves me. I think I'm just going to have this thing, a new rule where I'm either going to risk my risk level, which is usually the day low in a morning panic balance play, or something super bad in the level two, like a 1 million share seller showing up at the ask, or like a huge wall of sellers just showing up all of a sudden with massive size, and then bad price action. I really just got out of the trade because of the price action was looking ugly, and it was looking like maybe it was going to break below the 90-cent level, but it actually managed to hold, and it was still nowhere near the day low, which was in the 88s, I believe. So let me see if I can get a screenshot of it. Yeah, as you can see, the low was 88, and when I took the trade around here, I got in it right here, and I got out, I think right here. And yeah, just unfortunate that the next, few candles worked and all, but I mean, I've just been in this really bad luck streak, so, it just means that I'm not going to be in a bad luck streak this bad for a really long time. It's just the way things work. But again, it did hold this 90-cent level, the round 90-cent level, minus this little tick right here. Then we still had people at 89 and 88. So again, I got in it. The price action looked super bad. I got out, and then it worked. I think I'm going to risk the day low, which means I would have been able to have held on to the position and sell towards this nice uptrend. Or with the thing in mind, there was never really any large amount of sellers that showed up at the ask. It was just bad price action, shares being dumped on the bid, which was still several levels below, not below, but above the day low risk level. So I think with that in mind, that's why I can trade this in the future and be profitable. NWBO just didn't work out. This was the move right here. Sure, it got as high as 105, but it wasn't really that nice. It's not like it continued the uptrend and put up higher lows over a longer period of time. I mean, I was looking at it a little right here when it was in theory being a higher low, but it never broke above the ceiling at 105, and it did sell off a bit towards the end of the day, and that's pretty much it with that. This one, nothing nice. This one would have been too scary for me. It was a morning panic bounce play. Very, very, very widespread though, so not necessarily something I would have been interested in trading. And yeah, that was pretty much about it. This one also had that breakout over the nice round number of 10 cents. Unfortunately, I just didn't trade that one. I was looking at the other setups. That's it for today. Just 2 L's, but I think a good lesson that could help me in theory be more profitable in the future, God willing, with morning panic bounce play setups.